What would you do if the person you trusted most chose a party over your child's life? I asked myself that question as I sat in the sterile, fluorescent-lit hallway of St. Mary's Hospital, the beeping of machines echoing like a cruel metronome. My son, Ethan, lay in the ICU, tubes snaking from his small body, his chest rising and falling with the mechanical rhythm of a ventilator. A car crash had stolen his laughter, his bright eyes, and the future I'd imagined for him. I was alone, or so I thought, waiting for news that could shatter my world. My wife, Claire, was supposed to be here. Instead, she was at her sister's engagement party, her voice crackling through the phone an hour ago, saying, "It's just one night, Tom. I'll be there tomorrow. Lisa needs me." Ethan was 6, the kind of kid who'd run into my arms after school, his backpack bouncing, his stories about dinosaurs and soccer spilling out in a rush. That morning, he'd been in the back seat, singing off-key to a pop song when a truck ran a red light. The crunch of metal still haunted me, a sound I couldn't unhear. I'd walked away with bruises. Ethan hadn't been so lucky. His skull was fractured, his lungs punctured. The doctors said the next 24 hours were critical. I needed Claire. I needed her to hold my hand, to cry with me, to fight for our son. But she was sipping champagne, laughing with strangers, while I stared at the ICU door, praying it wouldn't open with bad news. The hospital was a limbo of muted voices and antiseptic smells. I sat on a hard plastic chair, my phone heavy in my pocket. I called Claire 3 times since her first call, each voicemail more desperate. "Claire, it's Ethan. He's not stable. Please come now." No response. My mind churned, replaying our life together. We'd met in college, bonded over late-night coffee and dreams of simple life. We'd built one Ethan, our house, our routines. But lately, Claire had been distant, her eyes always on her phone, her laughter reserved for her sister, Lisa. I thought it was stress, maybe a phase. Now, I wasn't sure. A nurse, Maria, broke my spiral. She was older, with kind eyes and a clipboard that seemed to carry the weight of the world. "Mr. Harper, Ethan's vitals are holding, but he's not out of the woods. You should rest." I nodded, but rest was impossible. Maria hesitated, then sat beside me. "I've seen a lot of families here," she said softly. "Sometimes, people cope in strange ways. Doesn't mean they don't care." I wanted to believe her, but Claire's absence felt like betrayal. Maria patted my shoulder and left, her words lingering like a half-formed hope. Hours passed, the clock on the wall ticking toward midnight. My phone buzzed, and my heart leapt, expecting Claire. It was Lisa, her voice bubbly, slurred. "Tom, you should be here. Claire's having a blast." I gripped the phone so hard my knuckles whitened. "Lisa, Ethan's in the ICU. Did Claire tell you?" Silence. Then a muffled, "Oh, God." She said it was minor. I didn't know. Minor? The word hit like a slap. I hung up, my chest tight with rage and confusion. How could Claire lie about our son? That's when the twist came, unbidden, like a crack in my reality. A man approached, his coat damp from the rain outside. He was in his 40s, with a weary face and a hospital badge that read Dr. Patel Neurology. He wasn't Ethan's doctor. "Mr. Harper?" he asked, voice low. I nodded, bracing for bad news. Instead, he said, "I'm not here about Ethan. I'm here about Claire." My stomach dropped. She was in a crash too, earlier tonight. She's in surgery upstairs. I thought you knew. The world tilted. Claire in a crash? My mind scrambled to make sense of it. Lisa hadn't mentioned anything. Neither had Claire in her call. Dr. Patel explained. Claire had been driving to the hospital after I'd called her, guilt-stricken, desperate to get to me and Ethan. A drunk driver had hit her car head-on. She was stable, but critical, her leg shattered, her head concussed. She kept saying her name, Dr. Patel said. And Ethan's. I stumbled to the elevator, my legs leaden. The ICU was on the 3rd floor. Claire was on the 5th. I couldn't be in 2 places at once, but I had to be. The hospital, once a prison, now felt like a maze of impossible choices. I went to Claire first, my heart a war zone of anger and fear. She was unconscious, her face bruised, an oxygen mask fogging with each breath. I touched her hand, cold and still, and whispered, "Why didn't you tell me?" No answer came. Back in the ICU, Ethan looked smaller, frilier. I sat between their floors in my mind, torn apart. Maria found me again, her eyes softer now. "You're doing all you can," she said. "They both need you to be strong." Strong? I felt like glass, ready to shatter. But her words anchored me. I thought of Ethan's laugh, Claire's smile when we'd first held him. We were a family, broken but not gone. The night stretched on, each hour a battle. I moved between rooms, holding Ethan's hand, then Claire's, whispering promises I wasn't sure I could keep. At dawn, a miracle, Ethan's vitals stabilized. The doctor said he'd likely wake soon. Claire, too, came through surgery groggy but alive. I stood in her room as her eyes fluttered open. "Tom," she whispered, tears spilling. "I'm so sorry. I thought I could make it right. I didn't ask about the party, about Lisa. I just held her, my anger dissolving into relief." Days later, Ethan woke, his voice weak, but his smile bright. Claire recovered slowly, her guilt a shadow she carried. We talked, raw and honest. She felt trapped by Lisa's demands, afraid to say no, afraid to fail her family. The party wasn't about joy, it was about obligation, a moment she regretted the second she'd chosen it. I forgave her, not easily, but because I saw her fight to come back to us, even through her own pain. We left the hospital as a family, scarred but whole. Maria waved $1, sent me a card with her number. "You're stronger than you know," she wrote. I kept it, a reminder of a night I almost lost everything. Life wasn't perfect after that. Claire and I worked hard to rebuild trust, to prioritize what mattered. But Ethan's laughter, louder each day, was our glue. Sometimes, love is tested in ways you can't imagine. Claire's choice wasn't about neglect, it was about human flaws, the kind we all carry. Sitting in that hospital, I learned something. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's the courage to keep going, to choose each other, even when it hurts. Ethan's hand in mine, Claire's arm around us, both that was enough. It had to be.